The next part we're going to model is the wheel. And what in the world is going on here? There's 3 different sketches. There's a detail view. Well, it's nothing crazy. We just have a center line here, and we need to sketch this out and revolve it. No big deal. To make things easier, when I sketch this, I'm not even going to put these little arcs in here. It's just going to be a blocky little piece, and I'll show you what I mean. So this time we're going to start our sketch, and let's start with a center line. Last time we didn't do that on the stack, but here we want that to happen. Okay, and then I'm going to come in, make sure you turn center line off, and I'm just going to sketch out the part, roughly what it should look like. Okay, and make sure you leave a little gap between the stack here, because what's going to happen is there's a hole in the middle of the tire, and we need wheel, and we need to make that happen. So what I do want to do is have a little arc here to round that wheel off. So I will leave that arc. And then I'll just come in here and trim these pieces off that we don't need. Okay, so let's start with our first dimension. So from the center line to here, we need to figure out what this dimension is. And if you look here on this upper drawing, you can't see it. There's nowhere that tells you what this hole is. We have to come down here and look at the back side. And now here's the hole, and it tells us that that's a diameter of 0.280. So that's done. Now if we look at this, we see that this dimension is a diameter dimension because I clicked on the center line. Now what we need to do next is dimension from the center line to this edge, which is 0.25, to this edge, which is 0.75, and to the center of that arc, which is 1. Now to do that, we can't click on the center line and then the edges here, because that'll give us a diameter reading. We want radius. So you need to click on the end of the center line and put in those values. 0.25, end of the center line, 0.75. Now if you see here, this thing is all crazy looking now. That's okay. Just continue on with your dimensions. From the end of this center line to this point, whoop, I clicked the wrong line, I'm sorry. From the center line, get this point here. So this point is going to be 1. And when we put this in, you'll see it fixes your dimension up. So this is looking correct now. Alright? Last thing we need to do is come in and add the rest of our dimensions right here. So the radius of that arc is 0.125. 0.125. We need to know the distance between here and the distance of this back line. So if we look here, the distance between these two is going to come in here at 0.125, and then the overall back distance is also 0.25. So we'll just come in here, make this 0.125, whoops, 0.125, and this back line is 0.25. Now that's it. We just need to revolve this. So I'm going to hit revolve, and it makes my wheel here. And now our wheel is just missing the rounded fillets right here. Okay? So if we come back in and look, see how it's all rounded? We just need to add those fillets. And that fillet right here is 0.0625 TYP. It means typical, or all of them are 0.0625. So I'm just going to hit fillet. Make this value 0.0625. And I'm going to click on all the edges that should be rounded. And apply that. Now what I'm going to do is move on to adding this little part here. This is where the linkage peg attaches the linkage arm to the wheel. So first I'm going to draw a little circle, a circle that has a diameter of, if we have to look here at the detail view. So this outside circle here is a diameter of 0.25, and it comes up 0.375. And where we need to put this is right off the center, 0.7 over. So I'm going to look at it from the right side view. And I'm going to start a sketch right here. And I'm going to make a circle that's 0.25. And then we have to dimension this circle. Now we need to project the geometry of this inside circle so we can dimension from the center of this circle to the center of this circle, 0.7. And then we need to extrude it a value of 0.375. So from here it needs to come up 0.375. So when I extrude this, 0.375, you can see that there, and you just hit OK. And now we're going to put another sketch on the end of this circle here. And that sketch is going to be this little post. and that post has a diameter of 0.125, and it's extruded up 0.125. So I'm going to go and project the geometry of this circle just so I can get a center point. And I'm going to make my next circle 0.125, and I'm going to extrude it 0.125. Lastly, we need a little hole that goes in the middle here for the linkage peg to go into. And the diameter of that hole is 0.0625, and it goes down 0.25. So last time, I'm going to sketch on this flat surface now. I'm going to project the geometry of that. Make another circle, 0.0625. I'm going to extrude that circle. Now this extrusion's coming, whoops, don't want that. This extrusion's coming out. We want it to go in 0.25. And there we go. Now we have a little hole for the linkage peg to plug in. Now the last thing we have to do is the cutouts here for the wheel. Okay, so what I'm going to do is sketch on the back side of the wheel, just because I think it makes it a little easier. Alright, so I'm going to start a new 2D sketch right here. Now what's important is to look at where your posts are that you just made. You want these things to be at 3 o'clock. Alright, what I mean by that is turn it this way, okay? Because when we dimension these and we cut out all of our little wheel details here, if you don't have this thing sitting on this left side or right side, it's going to mess up your drawing, and you'll see that linkage peg because it's going to cut out behind it. So again, make sure it's sitting right here. Okay, see how that's sitting? So like 3 o'clock, but it's on the back side. Okay, so I have this sketch here. What I'm going to do is project the geometry of this center circle again, and then from this line, I'm just going to draw out 3 lines. One perfectly horizontal. I'm going to draw one, whoa, don't know what that was. I'm going to draw one out, and then I'm going to draw one more up here. Okay, now what I've done is just drawn this line, and this line. So I can now dimension 15 and 30 degrees in here. So what I want to do here is a 15-degree line, in here a 30-degree line. Alright, and now I just need the arcs. The arcs for the bottom and the arc for the top. Once I get those 2 arcs, I can trim everything off and begin to extrude this. So this bottom arc dimension, we have to kind of come over here to this and see that that is a radius of 0.375. So I'm going to make a circle, and the circles again are in diameters, so if I put 0.375, it'll be too small. We need to multiply that by 2. And then our next diameter, the outer part or the top edge of this, is 0.625. Again, times 2. There we go. Now we have everything done here. All we have to do is trim off all the stuff we don't want. Okay, so we really don't want a lot of this. We just want this inner portion right here. Just this guy. And we can extrude that now. And we want to cut through all. Alright? And now you can see that little cutout here. Now if you didn't line this up right, this is what I meant. This cutout right here will sit right on top of this, and it'll be in the way and it'll look silly. So make sure yours does not do that. Once you have that, all we have to do is circular pattern this feature around the center circle here 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's already at 6, and you just hit OK. And that is it. That is a 100% completely done wheel. Let me know if you have any problems with that one.